Fala galera, estamos ao vivo. Beleza? Como é que vocês estão? Tudo bem? Vamos para mais uma transmissão da Steam. Um jogo que está sendo transmitido hoje.
Corner can catch them on the fallback. Sway's still going. It's going real well. Nico's answer still finds its moment from a man disadvantaged. He's got more. Sway is the anchor and ace in the final round of the CT side. Will give
Bora lá, vamos conferir junto. Porque esse jogo tá insano. Tá insano, galera. Tá incrível. Tá incrível. Não tem como falar. Tá incrível. Tá legal aí para vocês o som? Vocês estão me ouvindo bem? Como é que tá a transmissão? Cara, eu tô louco para jogar hoje que eu comprei um teclado muito louco de ferro, mano. Depois eu vou postar para vocês verem. Meu teclado tá muito louco de ferro. Oh, agora eu maceto os dedos para atirar. Tá incrível. É isso aí, galera. Preparação. Só molecada nova. E é o futuro do nosso país, né? Da nação. E os caras é bruto, hein? Os caras é bruto.
A lights out performance for Zoe. That A-bomb site was impenetrable throughout this attack out of the Falcons side. Not once was he the opening death, and once upon a time, a liability within this bomb site, within this map.
No, within Spirit as an anchor, but I'd say on Nuke has been one of the only times you've seen serviceable performances. The fact that he's doing it versus what's their biggest rival right now speaks volumes. To do it on stage is amazing, and didn't get the applause that he deserves since that happened at the end of the break, but an ace here on stage in quarterfinals. Hats off this way. That also puts a stop to the small frustration that Team Spirit had in those last two rounds. I think they lost one player.
Ooh, Doc, instant execution of Cesar. He is not having a fun game.
Olha isso, olha isso. Olha agora. Ó, a troca. Nossa.
Oh, come get a kill at least.
Chopper escapes, runs for the hills as his teammates do all the grunt work. Bomb down inside of this A site. And it wasn't that immediate hit that the Falcons themselves threw onto that A site in their own T side. This was just a certain pause and then that follow through. And Team Spirit's pistol, as convincing as you could ask. Kyosuke will find one for the road as 4 stand strong, and we've got Spirit running off with this victory.
Mentally, we can't just walk by this map because this should have been way more competitive without the second pistol. It's going to be a struggle session here for Falcons. They absolutely need to make some sort of comeback, and I think mentally they need to prove something on this map. it's not just the series that they've won. They've won every single map so far, right? They've never even had to come back into a lopsided game like this. The closest Spirit have gotten in the last 5 maps is getting an overtime loss. So they have to prove this is not like them. Kyosuke's got an MP9 this round. Okay. Some kind of, no scout involved.
Saw the power of the force buy for Spirit CT side.
Zwe's got the MP5 because he's got it like that right now. He can do anything he wants.
I mean, off of the ace in round 12. Go
18
ahead.
18 and 8. Right now he's babysitting Donk over here at 12 and 5. So let me show you how it's done.
P5 great versus unarmored opponents. Versus Kevlar, we'll see.
So the fan club could be called Zwaniacs.
Okay.
Yeah, like Zaniacs or something like that. Obsessed with Zwe.
Creeping in with these Desert Eagles. I mean, the targets are right there, and they keep checking their back every once in a while, just in time. Easy shutdown for the flank. Look for a second, like maybe Team Spirit weren't going to hold it, but they really allowed Falcons to just simply come to them.
Vocês podem fazer participar da nossa live através do livepix.gg/JulioCesarX, escanear o QR Code que está aqui em cima também, tá? Você pode estar contribuindo com o canal, mandando sua mensagem de áudio, texto. A gente vai ser lido e ouvido aqui no canal. Você pode mandar o wallet, SATS, né? A da criptomoeda, pode mandar aqui pra gente também, ó. Tá aqui em cima, ó. Tá aqui, ó. Tá aqui, tá aqui. É aí. Manda pra gente aí que eu quero ver. Se tá da hora no nosso canal, se vocês estão curtindo através das contribuições, né? Muito bom isso. Nossa, eu tô demorando pra falar porque eu tô prestando atenção no jogo e, mano, como esses caras jogam muito, cara. Que muito louco. Tá incrível demais, velho. Nossa, fora do comum. Incrível. Incrível. Os caras tá jogando muito.
Second one was jumping. Very nice round out of Tesses. Nice try.
Brabo demais.
You know, maybe that gets him back into the map, but what is the map right now? I mean, it's abysmal.
2 rounds from the loss here.
Yeah.
2 kills for Tesses. It's still a 3-13 scoreline individually.
4 rounds with a pistol. What are we talking about here? This is not a best of 5. Got to get that engine going, Falcons.
Few gun rounds we might actually end up seeing in the second half.
How many tac pauses are we getting so far?
I know Hallie took one the moment Spirit lost the round.
Well, that's not even the guy I'm talking about.
But what a contrast. Up 7-3 and immediately calls one.
Absolutely.
And look what it was worth, right? 1 round at the end of that first half just for the road. Nico, back turn to him. Donk's gonna be the first casualty of round 16. But
instant trade on his way.
Yes, sir. Star of the show. Zanir comes out from Squeaky with a double on his own.
It gets worse.
Sets the heavens ablaze. And Modesty burns down by half health as he just commits himself to the back of this bomb site, but there's no real commitment on the other side.
He has to be a hero right now. What else is he gonna do? Running in now, dropping on the floor. Unfortunately, it's the wrong risk to take. They're avoiding this entirely. Kyosuke, it can't be a cliff. Bullets into the railing. Bullets between Modesty's eyes. And Spirit are out here.
The time to kill right now on Spirit is spectacular. These
Galera,
headshots
é incrível.
instantaneous.
Essa partida foi muito
clean as you need
louca.
them to be. And look at the map points they have at hand. This
This
is
like
not a
game.
game.
Yeah, this is it's not even gotten started yet. We're getting no energy out of Falcons whatsoever. The 2 rounds they won were awesome. They seemed to be totally irrelevant at this point, especially not building any momentum off their pistol, not getting the ending the last round, which is obviously an ace from Zwe. Basically everything Spirit need to like make sure that this is one-sided has happened for them.
I think a one-sided game as well out of
I also don't like the third round right after they're winning. They could have won that again. You know, they had another anti-eco, another anti-force buy, and they looked already really sloppy in that moment. And yeah, it didn't really get sloppier from there, but then they still just weren't as good as Spirit. So I feel like it's a combination of the nerves and the game plan, unfortunately for Falcons. A lot to overcome now in this match.
Stuck behind the fire for the time being. Eco trying to take things into his own hand. He'll lose vision. Knows the targets are floating out there, but will be whittled away by Zwei.
Destroyed with that smoke.
And that's Zwei's 20th frag on Nuke already. 16 rounds into play. The 17th could still be his best yet.
I mean, this is zero communication now. He's just still up here on Silo. Was that even calmed?
Feels like he can do whatever the hell he wants at the moment because the shots are backing up his decisions. Kicksand smoked off from outer.
Now they've already opened up their next idea. Now with two guys on the floor here for Falcons, they're gonna one last Hail Mary.
Trying to push, right? You've got to take something. You've got to get the game going.
That's a perfect spot to hold it from.
Yeah, it feels like they're being read like a book yet again.
Nossa, mano. Nossa, mano.
This game, Falcons have had a critical error out of the gate in this quarterfinals.
They've been absolutely skill checked, shaken to their core.
Every member of Team Spirit has had a moment where they can look back and say, yeah, what are the Falcons in comparison? You've got Donk right where he needs to be. You've got Zwei beyond his limits. And Kyosuke, in an unwinnable 1 versus 5, has been found out. Everybody's going to come and challenge. Because not only have Spirit just picked up the first
Nossa! Caraca, velho!
The worst part is, Spirit didn't even have to try that hard.
Caraca, velho!
Everything Spirit did was major playoffs quality. Everything Falcons did showed us that this is where the match matters the most for them. This is where the head-to-head before this match doesn't. And this is where they could be fully embarrassed on stage versus what would be one of their favorite opponents.
In one of the hottest quarterfinals of this event, anticipated to the max. At the moment, Falcons, nothing but a speed bump in the face of Team Spirit and Zwei.
Galera, vocês podem contribuir com o canal através do livepix.gg/Julio Cesar X, mandando seu áudio ou texto. Será lido e ouvido aqui no canal, certo? Também tem o QR Code para você escanear aí. Ao lado temos o grupo, que você pode também mandar um pix. Tem um grupo lá do nosso canal. Então, acessa aí, o número tá indo online. Também você pode mandar a SATS, tá? SATS. A criptomoeda através do QR Code aí em cima, tá bom? É isso. Assim você ajuda a gente. Beleza? Vamos aguardar aí. Já vai começar em breve, daqui 7 minutos. Vai começar a próxima partida. 7 minutos. E vamos ver como é que vai ser aí essa próxima rodada. Olha lá. Vamos aguardar, vamos aguardar. Hey, bro! What were you? I don't know speak English. Eddie Ranger 967. Man, what's up? Galera, daqui a 3 minutos voltamos com a transmissão. Daqui a 3 minutos voltamos com a próxima rodada. Vamos ouvir o que eles têm a falar aí.
My first career was in the military, because 29 years in the military, and I was 23 years in the special forces. Then I left the military in 2009 and took up psychology. And then in 2017 I went into sports. Along that I was in esports, started with Astralis, and then I went together with Danny Sonic to Vitality. From Vitality I went to Falcons, and that's where I am now. I'm the main psychologist on our Counter-Strike team because it is one of our prioritized titles. I think we are in the esports community, we are still a very young and still a very immature organization, and there's nothing wrong with that. The biggest hurdle is to make the players understand that performance is not only about hours behind the computer. It is having a curiosity about the sleep, the nutrition, the physical training, and all that. So it is very much about who can cope with the pressure, who can be in the moment, who can focus in the moment and not be caught in anxiety or nervousness or whatever it is. Because you can have the best aim, you can have the best game sense, but if you don't have the platform, and with the platform I mean the mind and the body, you won't get there. It's about being honest. I'm not pretending that I know their game and know their skills and know better than they do when it comes to what's going on.
Me speak Portuguese.
Assist them in
Portuguese.
getting better in what they are doing with.
I'm from Brazil.
And all that. When they see that what we are
Cheers
talking about
is from Brazil.
Developing.
In Google.
Concepts that is crucial to me is what I call empty the backpack. Based on an understanding of the dynamics going on in the team. Even though we are on the same team, we share the same goal, we are not necessarily always agreeing, Being able to address the conflicts or the potential conflicts before they develop into a problem. It's to make the team be in the present, in the here and now. We are definitely in a different position than we were at the last major. Now,
Whoa!
It's all about getting the in-game set. I mean, getting the new roles without doing...
Canada.
Made me step back and let the boys and the coaches work on the in-game stuff. And from there, okay, we develop. Now I can start coming in with the add-ons. So I think that made us get to where we are at the moment, and hopefully well prepared for the major.
Just had a talk with Zoning. Obviously, first map didn't go their way at all, and I spoke with him about specific reasons about it. He said that basically they didn't wake up, they didn't even arrive so far, and they're really struggling with the communication, and especially in-game, you could see that with trade fragging, and he was really hard to, even get some words out of him, so it was a really kind of like short interview. But I have to say that Dust 2 is coming up, and for that map specifically, you really need to step up in a lot of areas that he said they are really lacking. So let's see how it goes.
The Spirit Clinic in session tonight, and you will never guess who the spearhead of the operation was. For Falcons, their map pick, only a handful of rounds going their way. Maui, it was very clear who was in control on map number 1.
It would have been completely forgivable for Spirit
Aaron
to
Yeager,
lose
967. Thank you very much. You here helped me a lot.
A lot of reasons where Zwei didn't even really play it with Nemiga, but for him to be the hero today, for him to play his best map that I've ever seen him play for Falcons, for Spirit, is just insane. Sure, the numbers might say he was better in some studio game. Given the context, this is the best game I have ever seen Zwei play in his life. It's got shades of Magic's back at Shanghai with how important it is and how unexpected it is.
Yeah, and it completely crumbled Falcons' game plan. He was their sole reason they could actually shut them down, make sure that they didn't get anything off of that T side. As you said, it looked ridiculous. It was almost like we were saying in the green room, is that Donk playing on Zwei's PC? It was unbelievable performance. Multi-kill after multi-kill, and Falcons had no options.
Yeah, let's just dive into some of those Zwei highlights straight off the bat, because as you said, Devil Walk, so many multi-kills, sometimes in back-to-back scenarios, and so mobile around the map as well. This was a masterclass coming out of Zwei today.
Yeah, I think if we go into the rounds, is it round 3, I think? We're gonna see here just shutting them down in the door area, and I mean, the stability. It feels like they never really enter the site. So we take a look here. He gets this MP9. This is a really, really crucial round for them to actually gain that money control, to gain them some space and playground to actually play with. And, I mean, there's no trade potential even. Even when he gets mollied, he backs off, gets another. What can you do? Here's Zwei again. I mean, take it away, Maui.
I mean, the ability that we saw in glimpses on Nemiga from Zwei, all on display here. This is all of the potential that I've been waiting for such a long time. I don't even mind. Okay, sometimes I get fairly attributed to saying that this guy sucks and or whatever, but no, I did say that for Zwei. I thought this guy was a bum. I thought this guy was a bum. I thought this guy had no place on Spirit whatsoever. But today, he obviously proved his value. The anchoring that he pulled off there was just something that Falcons clearly wanted to test in the beginning of this game. Like, A site has been a weak spot for Spirit on this map. Chopper and Zwei, like, I'm a feast on that bomb site, but when Zwei's playing like that, well, look who's feasting now.
And that's the thing, I don't blame Falcons for trying to exploit that weakness that we've seen time and time again, because you're totally right, Maui. It's something that we've seen just sadly attributed to Zwei, but not today for him.
I just feel like I have to apologize. we'll let the whole series play first out, but completely, to see what happens next. But no, I mean, the game plan was simple. They wanted to go for him in particular. We saw some of the ramp efforts, some of the outside yard efforts. I feel like Spirit were keyed into exactly how Falcons wanted to play this matchup.
Yeah, they were one step ahead. I like what they did with the kind of the Donk Shiro do on the outside. They removed Donk very early game. They put Shiro also in that kind of under heaven spot, so he had very, very limited time on his rotations, so he could shut those early kind of pops down towards ramp. He was also very mobile towards that inner, so they did a great adjustment, Spirit. They kind of said, hey, they're not going to come yard. They're going to go inner, they're going to go ramp. Let's make sure that we shut this down early, and then we can move back to our original game plan and our original comfort with kind of breaking those nades once we kind of herd Falcons into that outer side area.
I feel like all the stats men, you know, on the forums, on Twitter and stuff, they'll be doing their homework right now. But surely this has to be like one of, if not the best map for Zwei in his career, right? And what a stage to be doing it on.
But it's also Spirit. I mean, Spirit, the team itself, going up against Falcons, the only map they've really won this year is a Mirage. Back in February, it's not even the same lineup. And you move into this, they've been destroyed on Nuke, they've been destroyed on Ancient, they've been destroyed on Dust 2, which has been their pick. And then to play a 13-4 with Donk doing, you know, really, really well. I mean, everyone on the server was exceptional on that Spirit side. And every single time in the past, Falcons have had the upper edge. They've been the one with the prep work. They have been the ones that figured Spirit out. But this time around, completely different.
A couple months ago, Holly made the claim that, you know, I don't know CS, but I speak well. I mean, I think I should leave the CS to him, okay? Because on his most recent dream roster that he put together, which made the rounds on social media, he put Donk, he put Apex, he put Robs, he put Shiro, and then he included Zwei, and I was like, this guy, he does not know ball. clearly he just knows in big moments this is what Zway's built for.
It's insane. I mean, with the, the miraculous, the unfathomable, of course comes the disaster for Falcons, right? We can praise Spirit all they want, incredibly well prepared for this one, but Zico said it, he only had a couple of moments to be catching up with Zonic. He wanted to get straight back to the drawing board, reset going into map 2. Was it down to a simplistic game plan, as Zonic was highlighting by Stico in that moment?
I wouldn't necessarily attribute it just to having too simplistic of an approach. We saw multiple looks from Falcons as they were trying to test different types of points, or points of attack that is, against Spirit. And really, Spirit were just rotating well. They were a little bit more proactive with some of their lobby crunches, their rotations. I feel like anytime Falcons were trying to sneak down lower, usually Spirit, they broke the smokes a couple times. Then finally, when they lost sight of it, then they'd get the 1 or 2 guys rotating down into position. And so Spirit were just on the ball this time. Like, they do like to play a slightly more reactive style than I would prefer, but they still were able to get ahead of the plays so frequently from Falcons.
Yeah, but you could criticize them a little bit, especially when they go out lower, that they don't know how slow Spirit's rotation system is to that lower side. They usually try to gamble, make sure that everything on the upper part of the map is secure before they actually go for those rotates. And I feel like they missed a couple of timings on that lower area where they could have sped up a little bit more, could have taken the ground. So there was a little bit of hesitancy, I feel, from Falcons in this game and in this matchup on Nuke.
This isn't to throw any shade Nico's way, but it's just because we were prefacing coming into this matchup, the chokes, the infamous chokes that he's made at Majors. Of course, map number 1, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but he was not starting off on the right Nico foot that we've basically seen all the way throughout the group stage of the Major, right?
Some people would probably look at it and say, well, what about Kixan? What about Tessis? They aren't Nico.
No.
I'm not looking for them to put up those kinds of numbers.
Absolutely
so
not.
I know that you could bring the whole ship down with you, but when Monacy more or less does his job, when Kyosuke definitely did his job, you need Nico to be performing. And I get that there was a role shift. I get that now he's playing on top of Silo, but there were times when he was even on the CT side where Zway's just nailing him on the trades, where he's unable to get away after that first kill. And so for Nico in this one, yeah, we're seeing the demons rear their ugly heads in this kind of matchup, because I don't care what kind of role shifts Nico ever has, he should never be putting up beneath 40 ADR in a match.
And this is also a team with full star players. They should be able to put up a better performance than 4 rounds on their map of choice. It is not a great look for Falcons moving into the next map, which is Dust 2, Spirit's home map. They have been good on it in the past, Falcons. They have showed, but I mean, if you
just do it for fun.
Of
No
these
thanks.
maps, you feel like Spirit have a better game plan going into this Dust 2 than they've ever had before.
Before we dive into the second map that will be Dust 2, what do you think is going through Nico's head right now,
just
Devil
do
Wolf,
it
when
for
you've had
fun.
a lackluster
No
performance
thanks.
like this? When we literally brought up the graphic before, pretty much every year at every major, he's had a stinker of a performance that's led to a shocking loss. What do you think's the emotions he's feeling is right now?
I do feel like Nico is the type of guy that he can mentally reset for the next map and actually have a really, really good performance. I think we've seen that time again and again. So I'm not worried for Nico for a second map. I hope that he's angry with himself. He feels like he let himself and the team down in some sort of sense, and kind of uses that as a motivation to get back into it, make sure that everyone is awoken, as we say, for this map. They still have a chance. They still show dominance on this Dust 2 against this team, and if they can play their cards right, they definitely have a chance.
Still feel like Falcons should be looking at the last 2 maps of the series and saying that these are maps that we're incredibly comfortable on.
Yes.
Sure, we lost the punish pick, but the thing is that Holly, Spirit, Chopper, they knew coming into this series that was going to be picked. I feel like when you're Falcons and you lose that kind of edge, you're just now resorting to playing a little bit more of your own game, resorting to just kind of letting the stars just kind of while out in the ways that they're more comfortable with, because sometimes Nuke can suffocate the individuals a little bit. The structure is really sometimes a double-edged sword in that you can outplay your opponents, as we saw on some of the gun rounds for Falcons, where they're catching multiple Spirit members looking the wrong way, but it also leaves you going through a lot of different choke points, a lot of tough fights is how I frame it.
Yeah, it's a very
Vamos lá, galera. Preparação para a próxima partida. Vamos acompanhar. Vai ser demais agora, hein?
Your superstar on the team didn't perform. What would you do in that situation?
Como eu não sei inglês, eu não sei eles. Esse é o time Spirit.
I think in these sort
Isso que eu ia falar agora, eu não tô sabendo o nome dos times. Ih, a Steam tá com problema, ó. Ih, cadê a Steam? Ih, a Steam bugou. Ah, voltou. Eu não sei o nome dos times.
Worst case scenario for Falcons already. They have nothing to lose going into the second match and actually just, you know, relaxing a little bit and performing.
Well, before we do dive into that second map, that is indeed Dust 2. I believe Donna has been getting busy down in the crowd, so let's check in with her.
Hey guys, what up?
What up?
Hello. Hi. So you speak good English, huh?
Pretty much. Pretty
Okay,
good.
where are you from, guys?
We're from Sweden.
Oh, you too?
Sweden.
But then you speak good English. All Swedish people speak good English, no?
All right.
You're also from Sweden?
Yeah. All from Sweden.
All from Sweden, okay. Which team did you come to support to?
Furia.
Furia. You?
Yeah, Furia.
All Furia. Okay, who's your favorite player?
Cesarato.
Fallen. All.
What about you?
Fallen, of course.
Cesarato.
Okay, but you have a sign for another player. Who do you have? Can you show it?
Yeah, so tonight, Furia is not playing, so we have to have Donk.
Donna!
Yeah, they changed that with an A.
Yeah,
okay, guys, is this your first time in Budapest?
It is. Yeah.
How are you liking it?
It's very good.
And how are you liking the arena here?
It's big. It's very big, but it's nice. It's modern. We like it.
And do you guys go to CS events often together?
No, it's our first time, so we like it very much. However, the beer tap is very slow, so we're a bit disappointed about it.
Okay. Yeah, you have to go to Cologne for that.
Is it better there?
No. And how do you guys know each other, from CS?
No, from school, pretty much, and football as well.
And you're all CS fans as well?
Yeah, of course.
That's amazing. Okay, guys, I hope you have an amazing event.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Where's One?
Always asking. Yeah, if you're a Donk or a Spirit fan right now, you got to be feeling pretty good, particularly as they're going to be moving into their map pick. That is Dust 2, where they're going to be starting on the T side of things, Maui. Now, it wasn't a map that you were highlighting as where you've seen too much a change from that T side. Do you expect any differences to be played out today?
You have to, because the last two times the teams faced off against each other was Falcons that got the
Vamos lá, galera, vai começar, hein?
In terms of being an entry on this map,
vai começar.
Just thrown to the wolves in terms of swinging off of CAD, first guy going. Spacing isn't always the best. I feel like he's got to tighten up, and that's sort of what we've been actually seeing here so far at Budapest. The fact that Donk just looks like he's a little bit more in the unit. There was the interview coming into the tournament about how he wants to be a little bit more of a team player. He's still going first a lot, don't get me wrong, but I feel like maybe there's a moment of hesitation. He's waiting a heartbeat or two so that everybody can catch up with him, so that he's in the pack, so that they're a little bit more grouped up, so that the individuals from Falcons, if they swing into an oncoming Spirit horde, it is in fact 3 rifles trained onto the angle.
Yeah, I think on this map, the key point of interest for me is short control. I think that Falcons, they're great at kind of obtaining it, holding it. Nico likes to play there with double HE, kind of chip damage into Donk. Monacy is constantly a threat on that short side, and unlike other operators, he doesn't actually play mid that often on CT mid. He actually prefers to play on the ramp, make sure that short is kind of shut down, and that's the key. Because Spirit, their comfort call is swinging off short, it is using those 2 smokes and having their star players actually get good aim duels. But Falcons have been excellent at shutting Spirit down in the past.
Yeah, it's kind of why it was not a weird one that Spirit picked in this, but it's not a risky play in terms of what we're coming in with their choice, right?
It's just what any simulator would have said is their pick. It's what they just pick the most often if they have the first choice here in a veto. So a little bit of to me, just playing to their comforts.
Yeah.
And hopefully they change more even on the CT side too, because the last time these 2 teams faced off against each other, I was surprised that it felt like the most mobile person on the map was Chopper, because I'm used to seeing last year Donk just choose his own number every single round, whether he's going long, underpass, pushing B tunnels. But I feel like the last couple times he's just been kind of stuck in the mid to B area. And so when it comes to a major quarterfinal where you're a map up, I want to see a little bit more freedom from Donk, but not only him, but Shiro too. I want to see him get a little bit more mobile, because almost like how Devilwalk talked about Monacy, sometimes he just kind of relegates himself to that ace defense side instead of getting a little bit more proactive or tricking opponents with a B peak or an under or a tunnels peak.
Yeah, I completely agree, but we've seen at this major, Donk has taken over games, he's played that maybe, he's even picked up a double up for the Spirit side, and they are versatile, they have a lot of new stuff. You could make comparison to the last best of threes, which I will keep doing, because they are very, very relevant in this matchup. We've seen two different styles of Spirit. They tested themselves in the last best of three, went for more B executes, went for more long takes, and I think that is kind of the key. They want to get Falcons off that short control, make sure they pack themselves towards the side so they get freed up to work with the map control that they receive.
A lot of eyes, obviously, for very good reason, going to be on NiKo coming into this one. Has much changed in terms of the sacrifices in some of the roles and positions he's had to give up for Kyosuke coming onto this particular map?
On the T side, yes, 100%. I wouldn't say there's any change on the CT side, mostly for NiKo, but on T side, he's the upper dark player. And the amount of possibilities and opportunities you get as the upper B dark player is literally like zero.
It's just if they push you.
Yes, you're essentially just like a placeholder to make sure that you keep that map control. We've seen them switch it up a little bit more. He kind of follows Kyosuke into that lower area space a little bit more and kind of helps them, guides them to that short control and mid control. But there isn't really that much that he has to do in a default scenario.
Maui, we were going with Falcons prior to this series kicking off. This is your chance to have a bit of a flip-flop. Do you think it ends in 2 here?
Jeez, I don't flip-flop. I don't flip-flop, Freya. I'll stick with the Falcons in this one. I thought that they were going to be the favorites going into Dust 2 and Ancient. I am surprised by the fact that Spirit was able to take away Nuke so handily, but I think after this map we get a 1-1.
Well, handshakes are being cemented, which means one thing and one thing only. 9 times have NiKo and m0NESY bested Shiro and Donk.
Vai começar, galera!
Freya, it feels like it may end on the 10th because it feels like it barely got started in that last map of Nuke. We need to see a total turnaround of the Falcons right here, right now, or Budapest, your fourth quarterfinal is dead on arrival.
Yeah, what we hear in the crowd is people care more about Falcons. We see more fans, more boos, but everybody wants to know what Falcons are going to do here. They cannot skate by this result. It must be better on Dust 2 than it was on Nuke.
It has to be. That first map was an absolute non-factor. Everything goes to perfection for Team Spirit. I feel like even Spirit wanted more. They signed up for a fight in this first game of playoffs, and they didn't even get an ounce of it.
Vamos ver a primeira morte, vamos ver a primeira morte. Eita, já foi um CT pro saco, mais um CT pro saco. Já foi 2 CT pro saco. A bomba implantada, eu acho que implantou na A. É, tá na A. Ah, não, tá na A.
Leaning back and allowing Falcons to sprint out into the open. That's 3 players.
Olha isso, velho. Os caras jogavam muito, velho. E muito louco. Eu não torço pra ninguém. Eu quero saber quem ganha. Eu só quero ver as jogadas.
NiKo tried to pull out a bait setup, double boost. That's not something that you see very often. Honestly, ever, and he has a chance to get a couple of shots, but once those are missed, it's over. And yeah, Tessus doesn't pick anything up either. He needed to get 2 in place of NiKo's none. NiKo's coming off a bad map himself, and again, it's not something that I'm personally going to skate by. It's a major, it's a quarterfinal, it's a good matchup for them. It's everything in place.
Bora, vamos ver quem morre dessa vez.
Everything could be a total disaster.
Vamos ver o primeiro. A primeira morte, vamos ver.
Last map they won a pistol and a conversion, and then they quickly fell off. Team Spirit start off now 1-up. They need an eco here, force down win for Falcons. Something to swing the momentum back, and that's the you know, there's double-edged swords, there's 2-sided swords. Falcons, when they don't, if the game plan's a little bit fishy, well, they have the ecos that they can pull out. It's the Deagle players, it's the Scout players. That's part of what makes this team great as well. Sometimes they have to rely on those, and here's maybe a setup that looks great and has some force behind it.
No resistance offered up by Falcons, though. They're going to be content by the looks of things to just play in reaction to that utility. You know damn well Spirit are coming at this with the utility they need. Hell, even in the pistol, we saw that double smoke. So with a full buy behind it, what does Spirit bring to the table? Same two smokes. Opening for the drop down into CT spawn again. Falcons throw out that reaction wave of utility themselves, and now Monacy just looking to go headhunting.
Nossa, o primeiro CT já foi. De novo. Opa, já foi 2 do terror também, mas um do... Eita, começou. 2 a 2. De novo.
Triple kill for Tanir is enough to convert it.
They get saved by Tanir. It's also a good round from Donk on his entries, another couple of entries, in fact. So that's 2-0 to kick off. Funny because Tanir gets the open door to Heroic. That gets him a chance on team.
Olha isso, cara. Olha o replay, velho.
That took the core from to build the team that we see before us today. I actually, you know, as much as it does put some emphasis on Falcons for people who are like, okay, we'll make this core worth it. I think they went the good approach of actually trying to go for getting a core in the first place.
Check 9 only here for Chopper. Hang on, we've got a lower threat. Okay. Ooh, and that well-timed push from the USB. So in a round that you're not expecting much, because there isn't a lot here to work with, that threat still lingers down and lower. Found out and almost dealt with both. Donk just looks to pull away here. You've got to, because Tanir's sitting down on that quarter HP. A frag grenade that's a bit too late, but a rotation that is well-timed. Kixan trying to lead this 3-player retake up from spawn. The climb over top is going to catch Shiro and Tanir.
Nossa! 2-1, 2-1.
But we know this is the all-in from Falcons. Both players having wrapped back around over towards the bomb site. Bomb clearly planted over here for Donk, and he knows it.
They wish they could find utility.
Still looming around. That 10-second defuse coming through. He's got him off it. But
Nossa!
Pull a round out of the hat when they have no business winning. That was just everybody on the same page with a well-timed tunnels pinch.
That's beautiful. I mean, they take over tunnels. Chopper gets punished for taking a peek into lower when he's only got that Tech 9 out. Doesn't get his kill. And what is this, 2K?
Sends Shiro pirouetting.
They narrowly avoided this result last round. Tanir with his 2K on the ramp, but now what happens? Falcons have even less to work with. It's ideas that win this round for Falcons. They get him into the game early.
Ooh, Hallie a little frustrated.
Yeah.
Gets that timeout, wants to talk instantly. No, that's twice now.
Whoa, Shiro's got the op instantly.
Okay.
They got money for that.
Back on Nuke.
2-1, galera. Spirit 2, Falcons 1.
Instant pause called by Hallie. Same thing's going to come out here. He really is one of those kind of coaches that wants to get in the moment he spots something wrong.
Yeah, well, at least there's one coach calling pauses right now. We didn't get a lot of responses from Falcons in that regard. They definitely needed it last game.
Yeah.
You know, to be fair, it was hard to figure out exactly when was too late, like when it was going too wrong.
Sure.
Vamos lá, começou a próxima rodada.
Even really feel like it, but
Vamos ver. Vamos lá com primeira morte. Foi um TR, a primeira morte do TR.
We were hoping for an early answer out of Falcons, and it seems like we've got one. Again, mostly USPs in that one round prior. You mentioned that off that Shiro.
Vamos ver a segunda morte.
Investment to go for the long fight nets them nothing.
Opa, ainda tá. Tá 2 sniper, um mirando no outro ali.
You know, I don't even think we said Shiro's name back in map 1. Wasn't even necessary.
Yeah, they didn't even push him. They didn't push him hard enough to get there. Yeah. But this is a very good kill for Falcons. They take Shiro out. This is a huge threat. They're probably like, well, how does he even have an op right now?
This angle's being held by Monacy, so you got to be careful with that walkout middle. Not to mention Nico pressing himself into the cat hold. Monacy gives up his lower spot. There's that slight gap out mid-doors right now, but Team Spirit aren't capitalizing on it. Good flash in.
Opa, mais TR pro saco.
This is one of my favorite positions to watch Nico in. I think there's almost no one, I don't think there's anyone better at timing grenades, placing grenades from CT spawn to cat.
This shot.
Yeah, he's holding a little wide there.
Just a little tease from the catwalk. 30 seconds. There's a chance Zwei tries to come in with the split. It's him versus Tessas queued up over towards long. There's also a lot to save here in this moment.
It's a good point. It doesn't seem like they're going to try this. The op and play.
All right,
just,
walk away, huh?
It's the smart idea. It's not the most fun to watch, but especially with the op, which again, such a surprise to pull out after losing that last round. So they go for 2 pick plays. They get shutdowns. Falcons stabilize here in round 4.
You know, up against G2 in that stage 3 2-2 match, we had a lot of X factor coming out of m0NESY. Just, you know, those bogus moments. The X factor plays. And I think that a round like that early on this one could definitely tap you right back into that not so far gone memory. You know, Nuke, they didn't even fight.
No, they didn't.
They limped into that server, took their whooping.
2-2, galera, empatou. Vamos lá, próxima partida. Vamos ver quem é a primeira morte. Vamos ver quem vai ser a primeira morte, hein?
m0NESY floating on his own right now.
Never seen anyone actually get punished off that jump spot or the boost that they're going to assemble. It always comes in a little later, and by the time it gets set up, CT's already worried about a mid-crawl down. There doesn't necessarily need to be a next move here for Falcons. It really is on Spirit to be like, all right, here's how this is going to go. We see there's 3 pistols for them to use.
It's open space to be taken. You better be careful. If Donk finds a headshot here, then
watch for Nico's nades.
There's going to be a flood of players right behind it. He'll get through the edge of that flash. m0NESY, good first shot. Nico emerging up from spawn, and m0NESY's going to clip a second.
Eita, 3, 4. Nossa, 4 TR pro saco. O próximo já vai.
Yeah, already so much better. This is the kind of CS that's going to get us to a map 3 for Falcons.
Eita.
He's got really good rhythm on this map, and it's the place where you can overfill versus mid and A, so you get lots of kills, but you only put your best players there, your smartest guys. And I think it's where Nico shows off the most sometimes.
Nossa! Virada, galera! 3-2.
Not even past the doormat on Cat.
Yes, sir. Well, it's a glimmer of hope for the Falcons fans.
Falcon conseguiu virar.
No missed opportunity here by m0NESY. Nico even being brave to walk up through those fires just to make sure he's a part of the solution. Here's your reward, Falcons. Not only sitting pretty 3-2 early on Dust 2, but versus Pistols. And again, m0NESY in with the reflexes. Starting to find, I think, his groove, his game. And Kyosuke just tapped Chopper off of top mid through a smoke. Whether they opened it, we'll see. This is a strong one for the Falcons.
Wait, that's
so
the
it seems.
B site. This gets a little bit weird.
Snow bomb. Tanir has that over towards the mid doors, but you give Donk a lifeline.
He doesn't even want to switch. He's got this deagle out.
Why would he? That first shot right between the eyes. It's eliciting the utility here for the Falcons, who don't know where that bomb actually sits. And we'll see Shiro start to push out long doors simultaneous as Donk still just avoiding the utility, taking all of this attention, and then that fight over towards long is going to start to draw Falcons back. There is a world where they miss their rotation, but
já foi mais um TR. Mais um TR já foi. Acabou. Vixe. Já foi. Passaram a régua, ó. Nem vi.
It's a nice entrance from Donk, and it amounted to having a termite in the floorboards there. It was a little bit annoying. They eventually could deal with it, but no issue, no bomb plant. With the opening kill from m0NESY, him getting into the flow of things too, that's nice. But this isn't a full investment round for Team Spirit.
I think the odds from our partner were something like 6-1 at the start of this. Just off of the confident map 1 win, Spirit still hanging on to it, but it feels like the room can feel the shift. It's early days and there's plenty of times for Falcons to fumble. Don't get that wrong. But after Nuke, it felt like they may not even give us a pulse in this quarters. Fight towards door again. This has been something that's been going the Falcons' way each and every time. We've seen m0NESY start rounds, but for the time being, he'll sit on it. Just hold.
Oh, just all the way out, man. No, they're not even going to test them. But right now, I mean, they got the map cracked. If this ends up being a mid-B, this is going to be a little blood on the hands of this Falcon setup. I mean, this is a huge lead. I mean,
there's activity from Tessus, though. He's starting to push out doors.
This is a full B, mid-B split coming in. Kicksan's probably the one saying, hey, leave me alone, I got it, it's fine.
What's that?
I don't know.
Team Spirit drop a smoke out middle, and that's not going to block off Monacy's angle from ramp, and then cues up Tessus on the flank.
Ai! Primeira morte. Segunda morte, quer dizer.
This is interesting, though, because I still don't know there was 3 here. But it's Nico who's actually changing it up.
Você que tá no YouTube, você que tá na Twitch, você que tá na Kik, muito obrigado pela presença.
Here's Donk's Kryptonite versus Donk out mid.
It's a 1v1 locked in as everybody else from
4-2, galera. Falcon 4, TS2.
That bomb sits amidst this 3-player pack down to 10 seconds. Nico's got his helping hands into the B site. Kicksan from the corner has got the element of surprise.
Nossa!
Absolutely owned.
What was that?
Falling to the clock. And a singular
Os caras entraram em choque, hein?
You don't have to split atoms to figure out how to do a B split on time.
Entraram em choque.
Suddenly looking like Falcons fell back on Nuke here early into the half.
Adding that missed smoke in middle as well.
Yeah, this was a layup actually. I mean, they had Kicksan alone. They were about to mid-B. They missed a mid-B smoke, presumably. They don't get their kills in time. They could have just continued with the split anyways and actually still had a pretty good shot of getting that. Donk had lots of time to take out Nico. Instead, Donk is not really useful. He's there waiting in mid. His teammates are entering too slowly because usually Donk makes a mile of space for them within a moment.
It's not as easy without Donk at the tip of the spear.
You kind of don't want to tell Falcons that you're feeling it too. Especially not after you're the team to have the first word back on Nuke. But this is what it is. It is the major. We'll see it in moments like that.
Mid-B smoke goes down. Still a trio of smoke grenades here for Team Spirit as well, so we'll see what Spirit want to play with in the end. Perhaps a misdirection. 45 seconds, and Monacy's op gets pulled back to the corner.
If you're going to take a long to do your defaults on Dust, you got to justify it.
They're going to have to come out of these smokes flying with Tech 9s. Smoke goes down towards middle. Sway's trying to play ahead of that. Kicksan's on the edge of the window to take a look at mid, but you can start to see the A defenders also worried. And that's where Donk comes through on the edge of the smoke with the frag onto Monacy. It's just pistols. Irretrievable gun as well, so why would Falcons lose this, you'd think? Good rifle work between these 8 defenders, but just enough pistol prowess for Team Spirit to put that bomb down. Now we're talking about guns. Donk extends out, picks it up, denies Tessus the attempt, at a distance, in with another headshot. That's a triple quad. That is Donk, and that is what happens if the Falcons give them just
TR levou essa, hein? Foi boa também. Jogada top. Olha o Z-Play agora pra vocês verem.
And now Hallie just gets involved. He's here to build momentum off the back of an X-Factor play. We're seeing Zonic talk too. This is an aberration from Spirit. It felt like they were totally absent-minded last round. Suddenly they get this out of Donk, and he's the one guy who's never sleepy. He's the one guy who will just, no matter what, give you those moments over and over again. He's the guy who has impossible stats and impossible rounds in the biggest games.
Headshot.
One small mistake, and that's Nico using all his ammo. That's Monacy taking one shot at nothing, and then it allowed Donk to cross and get a 4K.
Also, Donk just getting enough damage on Tessus as he tries to snap that M.
Moleque só se assustou.
Did a good job of trying to time that fight to the top of ramp, but yeah, that's the Donk effect, folks.
Don't let that be the way in. Yosuke on
Bora lá, mais uma partida.
Love to see it.
At least this time, it is that instant timeout from Zonic, but you also open the door for Hallie, like you said, to pile on.
If you're gonna save timeouts for moments like that, I think that makes sense.
Sure.
Yeah.
And maybe if you're playing versus Donk, you know they're gonna come.
So if you don't get 3.5 anyways, you were never gonna win. So.
That's a reminder to the Falcons as to what is up against them tonight.
The mental game, that's everything.
They felt Spirit's wrath on Nuke. There's no denying that this Dust 2 game is probably already starting to feel better, but If you're not careful, Team Spirit will break through this CT side, put you back down into the saves, and even maybe run away with a lead. So we are at a critical turning point for Spirit.
That's such a big smoke break from, or block from Nico. He can watch it from so far back. They just have guaranteed info, so Cat is guarded for the moment.
É, eles estão segurando, estão na estratégia, ó. A cada um cobrindo um lado.
He doesn't have the utility, he doesn't have the HEs to actually punish the Cat play. It's gonna have to be firepower.
Kept so much cash though still. Flash by Tess, point blank spray down. I mean that is
that's so good.
Flash is fantastic. Now this Monacy Nico.
Nossa, já derrubaram 3 CT. Vixe. Ixi, só tem um CT. Só tem um CT. A bomba foi implantada. 4-1. Ixi, já era. Essa daí eles levaram.
And you saw how close Tess is on that smoke as well. Feels like if you try to break through on the flash, there's no way you don't get mowed down.
It was a call out, a counter play.
And that's the
threat. That's the Halley pause.
There you have
that's the Halley pause.
Errou ainda o tiro.
Coaches talk at the same time.
Nossa, esse cara joga muito. Não, ele morreu, mas morreu vivendo, com vitória. Caramba, velho. Ele deu o tiro e morreu mesmo no último segundo. Caraca, velho. Nossa. Olha a última morte que não mostrou no replay, meu. Vamos lá, começou a segunda rodada. Estão segurando, cada um nas suas bases, um no meio. 2 na A, 2 na B e um no meio. O TR tá tentando ali. Ainda tá na pressão da guarda. Já foi um TR pro saco.
Move into the tunnels, and that's a total reposition of Monacy as well. So you'd never expect it if you're Spirit. Those flashbangs find Spirit lingering out through those smoke grenades, but they do jump back into their cover.
Outro TR pro saco.
Finding the head-to-head duel over Monacy. It's one op kill per team so far in the 10.
Ah não, foi um CT que morreu dessa vez, foi um CT.
Doesn't matter how many CTs are here, they know there's no op on the corner.
It's 4 strong for Spirit. Nico waiting for the flash, waiting for the util to come over top, waiting for some chance of a moment. And instead, Donk is ready for that challenge. Kyosuke's got the headshot on the Shiro.
3-2, 3-2. Só não tancaram essa não, os CT não tancaram essa não. Aí só sobrou o sniper de novo.
And I honestly think, you know, we've seen great moments from Monacy in all the head-to-heads versus Team Spirit. The fact that he can peek into Shiro, take him out constantly is
só sobrou ele vai ficar panguando, pô.
And this is just a key find.
We've seen that replay, right? The shadow advantage. Like Monacy just kind of letting Shiro know it's inbound.
Ah lá, é um A, pô.
Triple kill here for Donk. And Team Spirit do seize that moment to tie this game at 5.
They kept trying to earn back their peak, to be fair, with the flashes when they're coming into mid. Because you can peek left side mid, as long as you throw something to try to make sure that you can get on the line first, right? Put the rook on the file, but Yashiro also set up to dodge a flash, peek back into the door right before Monacy did. It's 5-5.
It's a 4 versus 5 man disadvantage, not holding Spirit back, right? We had that Monacy quick peek up into the tunnels. It was just nice to see something fresh from the Falcons trying to move that op around.
Both these teams have shown signs of nervousness and have both given up a force buy to the other.
Yes,
this leaves us tied and the most interesting result possible. Let's see who wins the half.
Keep eyes on Nico. Use that bit of extra money to come into this one with an M4 and a set of Kevlar. And Monacy, the player that's boosting him up right now, also has armor. So in the world where Nico loses his head to this, that M4 drops into Monacy's hands. Maybe between the two they'll find it, but instead you've got Donk dead.
Primeiro TR já foi.
Great find for Nico considering he is that hero M4.
It's incredible amount of value to find off of just one one $300 piece of utility in the M4.
Primeiro CT já foi. Opa, segundo TR já foi. Vai com Deus.
Team spirit commitment to the tunnels push.
No one's reliable now versus lesser guns.
But I mean, you know, off of the cat boost and then into the mid doors, I think that really indicates that M4 is trying to get over to the B bomb site. Backs turned, Cesar and Monacy.
Nossa! Não pode virar nem olhar pro lado pra ver o que tá acontecendo. Isso é louco. Olha isso, mano.
Back to Falcons this time after losing the last round. Nico, amazing value with that M4, and again, one smoke to make it a 5v4, and then to have Spirit look lost and wandering.
Not the first time either. Tesses gets away with that long push.
Good to see Zonic getting involved.
Galera, tá acirrada a coisa aí. O que vocês estão achando? Cara, que pesado, mano. Que pesado, pesado. Pesadíssimo.
The moment Team Spirit touched that lead, ripped back away from them.
Donk's just a tidal wave coming up Cat, though. It's really, right? It's actually a battle of titans right now in terms of Nico. Yeah, kills. Donk is going insane, but at the same time, Nico's got responses. He put himself on A lot of the good, you know, at those opportune moments, even on that eco, playing the rest of the map very well. There's a chance to take out Shiro actually right there.
It's a head-to-head that used to be so skewed. Nico over Donk.
Yeah, and now that's not as much of a focus, but it's like the team doesn't lose still, so it's still, he's still...
Começou, eles estão cada um protegendo. Ainda tá na fase das bombas. TR não avançou ainda, tá aos poucos. Os caras não dão as caras não, mano. Fica de boa. Deixa os TR avançar, meu. Essa é a tática do jogo.
Yes, there's big pressure on the CT side. If they want to walk back to Cat, they can, but they have Tessus already dropped in the CT. He's going to take a risky swing.
Ooh, and at least he has his smoke ahead of him as well, so he can challenge through Team Spirits, which he was sitting inside. Locks into the car position. You've got Nico over towards Cat. You've got a third piece as well here for the Falcons to try to come and support it.
Flash is coming in.
It's not ideal. Tessus retains.
Nossa!
So he's playing this really slowly.
Matou no escuro.
He could have a couple targets coming his way.
2 TR pro saco, 1 CT pro saco. Mais um TR pro saco. 2 TR, 4 CT.
15 seconds to try to cross, to try to plant bomb. 10 seconds. And you need to desperately climb up and over, and you're not going to get a single foot across this gap. This is not the first time that Team Spirit lose a round of the clock. Add to that, the single...
Brincou, filho. Não pode brincar. Eita. Galera, não é minha internet, não. É a Steam que tá caindo. Spirit contra Falcons. Spirit 5, Falcons 7. Vamos lá, vai começar, hein? Vai começar, hein? Mais uma rodada vai começar.
The solo M4 out of Nico to be one, and that gives you a reason to believe in the Falcons when it comes to Dust 2, does it not?
Absolutely, especially with the CT side, or excuse me, with Falcons T side coming up. There's extra pressure on Team Spirit. Now we saw that Zwei had made a massive progress on Nuke. He was showing signs of doing better on that position specifically. But here on Dust 2 CT side, he gets bullied in B. Falcons are one of the perpetrators of that bullying. And there are going to have to be some answers here for Team Spirit.
Here we go. Opening kills down middle. I mean, the tenacity there of Team Spirit to try to take that charge towards middle. You know what you're signing up for. It's just the fact you go down with nothing. You could be making this path to a recovery on Dust 2 all the longer. Or just feeding momentum to Falcons.
Zwei's given the keys to peek. It looks like Palm Tree Flash will come out. Let's see if he can get anything.
Opa!
Finds that one kill.
Opa!
Tries to get another towards the ramp. Monasty's got the answer. And so Shiro's dual Berettas.
Ah, de novo. Vamos ver se ele vai pra cima. 4-1. Será que ele tanca?
You know, star of the show back on Nuke. We thought ourselves that once we got to Dust 2, Zwei's CT side could be a pain point for Team Spirit. It's the attack out of the gate, looking like a shell of himself from Nuke. But the really, big question is, what does his anchoring look like?
Não deu, CT foi pro saco.
He's the kind of player, he had all the space in the world when he's on Amiga. Now with not a lot of space, he shows that he can't really do the supporting as well as he could do the star
Stay in the
stuff.
game, guys. It's fucking need to bring energy now, okay? Every round is fucking important. Come on.
We got some good words out of Nico.
Yes, sir.
When they beat G2, it was on this map. It was a 5-round comeback on Dust 2 as well. They stared death in the face, and so I think they've got a special relationship with this map at the moment. But yes, we're continuing to as the days go by. Can Zwei play with little space? You think support's an easier role? It's not. It's harder. You get less shine. You have to help people more. You have to be more aware of your radar and utility, and you get less chances to kill. But that means you always got to stay hot, and that's what he struggles with. When he can move around a lot like a star player, he can take a lot of peeks, then he gets kills. But as an anchor, you can't just push every round. You can't just swing everything. You can't play for yourself all the time. So we'll see if he can operate within those confines. Right now, Spirit on a 3-map win streak on Dust 2. But their last loss, obviously, was to Falcons in overtime.
Estão guardando ainda, tá na guarda, tá cada um se defendendo. Opa, começou. Entraram pela varanda. Começou o tiroteio. Entraram pela varanda. Estão na A. Eles querem implantar a bomba na A. Os caras não voltaram para ajudar. Olha lá. Vixe. 3-1 de novo. Mais um sniper sozinho. Plantaram a bomba. A bomba tá na A. Já tem um na varanda. Um em cima dos blocos. Tá esperando o quê, filho? Vai pra cima. Ah lá, meu. Não pode ir pra retaguarda, não. Vai pra cima. Plantou a bomba, vai pra cima.
Falcons still put themselves in the perfect position to punish with this lead.
Having to give over double digits off that one. We hear the murmur of Falcons' belief reverberate through the arena. For a while there, didn't feel like there was much of a pulse in the playoffs whatsoever. But again, there's going to be a certain timidness, I think, to Falcons throughout the remainder of this map as well. Nuke is still in the back of their minds. Getting a chance to flex over top of this one, Team Spirit. Banking on a Deagle heroic. Not even in the right position. Falcons gonna take this fight towards long. It's nice to see Nico stepping up. Right there alongside Odyssey, top of the board. You know, we've always kind of prefaced that when it comes to the Falcons and when it comes to Nico, when Nico speaks, you listen. And sometimes Nico speaks ill of himself, his frustrations in those tough rounds, those nail-biter moments. And I feel like that's something that he's really shed so far in Budapest. I think it goes in to seeing his reaction over top of G2 to qualify for the playoffs.
That's a good block, actually.
Is it enough? Gonna draw that Desert Eagle of Donk right back in. Remember, 5-7 on Tanir is also within this bomb site, but there's so many bodies here for Falcons. Their utility should have unrooted this defense. Instead, it is 2 headshots that come out from the defenders.
Nossa!
Reliable pieces for the Falcons.
It's a big 4K for him. Took a long time.
TR passou o caminhão de novo.
If he ever did.
TR passou o caminhão de novo. Falcon 10, Spirit 5.
That was Nuke and stealing back a map pick, you know, in a series where technically that doesn't matter as much for Spirit because they always lose 2-0. But in a game where specifically Spirit somehow steal Nuke, that was very unlikely. This will zero out. This will zero out everything. Our expectations, I feel like it'll sort of cleanse the emotions, everything, all the bitterness that has come through. Maybe even puts it back on Spirit a little bit. Because they got a half from Donk that, with a little bit of extra supports, they could have definitely turned that into a 7-5 half themselves. He was outstanding, still is.
Before we finish writing this obituary, let's see if guns make a difference for Team Spirit CT side.
Well, it looks like they plan to trust Way like they did on Nuke, where he delivered alone in B, no one in mid. Really expecting Falcons to have a spawn play out towards long. Got the infinite wave going around in the stadium.
This Budapest crowd starting to come alive. Not a bad turnout for a Thursday. Most stacked playoff brackets I've ever seen.
No bums, no frauds, no luck involved.
We were on fraud watch after that first map. This game's come back alive. Here comes the execute into a B site. Zway's gonna be under pressure. We talked about pressure on this anchor. Is one gonna be enough?
No,
Doesn't feel like it. Not with this much demand and retake of a B site.
You know what, though? You know what? This is one where you can say, like, you know, Zway, we need 2 from you, but also, like, you gotta help him a little bit.
Bomba implantada. 4-3. 4-4, desculpa.
Feels like they're trying to take a look at this.
Aí ela tá encerrada, hein?
Against the window.
I don't know. That was a very weird play.
Just an underhanded piece of utility, a singular kill off of Zway's plat hold, and Team Spirit know that what they're holding's all too valuable. Falcons find an 11th with ease.
Caramba, os CTs são ruins demais. Os caras não vai pra cima. Os caras é ruim demais, meu. Ruim demais, não vai pra cima. Ah lá, deixaram a bomba explodir, meu. Caramba, até eu que sou ruim, eu já tinha matado esses caras tudinho.
Versus 5. It's just not reasonable. So don't like that Spirit setup.
Fiquei indignado agora.
Falcons picked the right point of attack.
Os caras deixou implantar a bomba, tava empatado. Era só chegar no tiroteio, irmão. Quer fazer jogada bonita pros outros? Vai pra cima.
It's again a situation where his closest support is Shiro, who's a little too preoccupied. Falcons are going to come at this again. Sway right ahead of the execute, mows down just the one. It's a lot of damage though. This time Odyssey and Nico both low.
Oh, good nade.
Opa! Opa! Aê, ó. Tá vendo? Vai pra cima.
Sway again sets that up because of the damage beyond his one frag.
Yeah, as long as you're a shout away and not a telephone call, you can help, right? Zero's nade and off shot through the door, like that actually keeps hope alive. It's a bit better than last round. 2-on-4 now. Let's see if Falcons can make it ugly.
May not be as easy as Falcons were gonna hope to find this B bomb site in consecutive hits. Double man advantage. Kicksand sitting on 40 health, and that goes the last piece of utility that the attackers have to keep teams.
Bomba implantada. A bomba tá na B.
That bomb is already down to 25 seconds. And so as they press these AKs up against the wall, what's the timing look like here? Who comes at this fight first? Well, Shiro's gonna get the first servings, and Testes with his 100 health is now gonna have to keep his head on a swivel.
Oh, foi bonito, hein?
And the efforts of Zwei coupled with Shiro are enough for that retake to come through.
Real simple here for Spirit to play containment.
Foi bonita agora, gostei. Falei mal, aí recompensado, tá bom. Foi legal a jogada.
Really important. I mean, Zwei again, tons of responsibility on his shoulders, but he actually handles it quite well. Gets a kill despite, I think, getting tagged first. Then some extra spray damage. Then Shiro's there in time to help him. Falcons wanted that to end in B. It doesn't end that early.
That's Shiro with the op shot and then with the frag grenade, right?
Yeah.
Two perfect pieces to what was still a scrambled rotation, but one that's close enough. That's a setup that they can bank on. But it also, again, tethers off of the success from Zwei, so we'll give him credit where it's due.
Yeah, big time. And again, so far, the only criticism is, can you just help him more? There's got to be something about, I don't know, they read some kind of book about this. They're really confident it's going to be A. Let's see if Falcons end up giving them the round they're looking for. What have the demo shown you?
Dog staring in the corner just next to Pitts, banking off Shiro holding the doorway. So there's a lot of pressure coming towards Long, and honestly, it's the right pieces in position here for Spirit. But Kyosuke's got that opening kill towards Chopper. That puts a bit on the site itself. Fine. Donk collects the frag onto Nico. You get this off walking out towards Long. And
Ô,
escape with that. So kicks in.
Nossa!
Not only Donk hitting instant headshots, but Shiro
CT.
set of helping hands on both sides of this.
Ficaram com raiva, hein? Ficaram com raiva.
Those are delectable op shots in, single scoped, easy control of the situation. And it looks like the read does pay off. What did they know? They probably got a little scared when they see Donk at Long, Chopper at Goose, or wherever he was on the A site. Even though they kill him, they go, wait, how many people are here? 7-11 now, and a chance for Team Spirit to get back into this game and stabilize with an anti-eco. That was quizzical. It makes me wonder what's going to happen on this next round. What's the CT setup? Are they going to go off the read?
Well, just talking things through. Not expecting Tanier to be ahead of that smoke grenade, but again, with Glocks, you saw Nico just sitting in spawn, hands off the mouse and keyboard. We got a bit of a powwow here. Falcons know that just 2 more rounds and you can go ahead and look at Ancient. But Team Spirit are still within the realm of possibility of 4-round difference when you've got Donk playing as well as he has since the get-go, when you've got Zwei showing improvement over towards platform, and on top of that, Shiro's op shot's not missing. Point to a reason why Team Spirit couldn't still win this.
It looks like they waited for that round. Now they go back to this one, and this is what I want to see on the mini-map. Donk with ants in his pants, running back and forth between the window and the tunnel, just actively supporting his way in the spot.
A bit of electricity here for Team Spirit, and the USP's not enough. Nico gets it over, but that one frag is fine by Spirit standards. 3 rounds the gap, as Falcons have still yet to hit that all-elusive, all-important 12th round.
You're not there until you're there. With this timeout coming down, full buy in place. Are they doing some math here if they need an op or not?
I mean, these are the moments where I think Sonic is trying to hold these pauses for, right? This is his pause, while Halley has none remaining, and Falcons still have 1 more to use if this gets even closer.
I'll say this again, there's only 1 player on Spirit that has gotten an op ace, and he's got an op this round.
Okay, double sniper coming up from Team Spirit late in this CT side.
That's the perfect thing to do.
Sure.
There's still a gap in a comeback. You don't have to spoil all your, you don't have to give up all your ideas as you make your way back into the game. It actually, it's the perfect way to catch a team off guard who's just looking for one more round, who might try to do a walkout somewhere. And then when you eventually do lose, you can go back to rifles and it's a change up instantly. So see if the expensive investment pays off for Team Spirit. And be careful, be wary about going too slowly. You walk into one op or two. Shiro's jumping, Shiro's right here.
Finish chance. They're gonna try to dive that. You've got that ramp support chucking out utility already. 2 Falcons players ahead of this pack. And so as Tanir's recalled, oh, that headshot's as clean as it needed to be.
Nico coming in late.
Now all of a sudden you've got one locked into the Gandalf. Nico's got his kill over towards long. That starts to put pressure on the bottom of this ramp. Chopper tries to press his lock. He'll find his frag. Shiro's been cut down in the meantime. Zwane's arrival out with a kill. And we go down to the 2 versus 2.
Oh.
Dueling with that op out mid.
That could have been it.
It's Cesar sitting still over towards the elbow, waiting for the next fight, but he's kind of lost track of these pieces.
How many bullets does Chopper have? Did he even reload? He's
Donk is
walking
coming
into this.
And as he steps forward over top of those stairs, Cesar's blindsided by Chopper.
They had him in from both sides.
That's gonna lock in Nico. Eyes set to the bomb site. He knows where these pieces are. He's gonna take a step into the off. That's a missed shot by Donk. And as he goes for the headshot, Nico, clears it. An ambitious jumping shot to not connect. Chopper, 4 health.
O cara tá levando. Ai! Quase, hein? CT, mais uma vitória do CT.
Chance to take out Donk inside of middle. They re-meet over here in this 1v2. And he nearly gets a second chance to be the hero. So close, but he's also aware of his own health. Ooh, that's a frustrating moment, but to be honest for Tesses, the way that Spirit came in from both sides, like he didn't have a good advantage. He'd have to get very lucky to have found a way out of that. Whoa, close rounds, close game now.
Now you've got Falcons in a difficult spot. They jump into this one, Kevlar, pistols, just enough utility to try to come at the game with a plan. And remember, there is still one timeout for Zonic within regulation. One last chance to try to fine-tune things in the face of a very real Team Spirit recovery. This is 4 consecutive rounds out of Spirit's CT side.
The last time they played, it was 6-6 down the middle, both halves into overtime where Falcons won. Comeback is new territory. And again, it's a more standard layout.
Cada um tá nas suas bases. Os TR ainda não se infiltrou. Estão esperando o tempo. Vamos ver o que vai acontecer. Eles vão invadir, vai começar invadindo.
Again, it's low utility, but it is enough. If Chopper can't find this spam through, there's going to be pressure on both ends of this B site.
They need Donk to make a mistake. They need him blind.
Got Molotov smokes burning on both sides of the tunnels.
Oh my God.
Chopper trying to press his luck, but instead it's Kyosuke with the...
Caraca, a primeira morte. Começaram, hein? Começou. Começou. 3-1. Já era, CT levou mais uma.
Zway does not let go of his grip on that site. Looked good. It's 3K. Yes, it's Tech 9s, but honestly, with the amount that they know at this side of the map is going to get tested, it's going to get...
Spirit 10, Falcons 11.
Need to be celebrated for Zway. Didn't have to be Donk as the hero. 5-round comeback. And this was a done deal for Falcons.
Spirit 10, Falcons 11. Vamos ver como é que vai ser daqui pra frente. Se eles vão reagir.
But I'm honestly wondering, are we going to get 3? We haven't got a response from Falcons in quite some time.
Olha o replay. 1, 2, 3.
To the limits was exactly what they needed heading into playoffs. That it was going to make them better once they hit the big stage. And it feels like this exact kind
Bora lá, começando mais uma partida.
When the pressure was on, when the comeback is real, when heartbreak feels like it has haunted you again, this has to be that moment that Falcons bank off of the push that G2 gave them. But Team Spirit clearly going to be a team that also looked to push them. Namely, right now, Shiro down into the lower tunnels. m0NESY is sitting on the top side of it with Kyosuke. And they are just leaning back, letting Spirit make these moves.
Kills everything. Info here for Nico.
Right on the edge.
Oh, flash is perfect.
Donk's going around that corner, and it's not the only piece of a push that Team Spirit has. In fact,
Esse cara é muito rápido. Muito rápido. Olha lá, olha lá, olha lá. Poxa, pegou. Pegou na cachola.
Sonic's last time out from a 4 versus 5. Cesar flanks out of long, gets aggressive, collects his kill, but you've still got Donk in the middle of it all. 3 players in the site, never really a problem. This kid is on for the ace. And as the car spam comes through, it's not the damage he had hoped for. Falcons lean back with fear. And as Donk takes that quick press out towards the window, he doesn't see what he needs. Smoke's gonna fade, and now both avenues are open, and nobody's gonna challenge him. He's tiptoeing his way through the door.
Ai. Embaçada ali. Eu tinha ido de volta indo no escuro. Baixo escuro, cima escuro e dava a volta. Eu não entrava por ali não.
He felt he needed to do something, but he couldn't punish that bomb crossing. That's where that round died. Needed an ace from Dog.
Só tinha 2, pô, dava tempo pra ele fazer essa jogada. Eu acho que ele não pensou nisso.
Team Spirit's catch-up has been admirable, but a much-needed 12th round by Falcons secured. Two ops again coming out from Spirit.
Oh, double nades.
It's not as bad as it could have been.
No, it's actually totally fine here for Falcons. Just looking for them to get it. I mean,
vamos ver qual que é a próxima morte.
To go with a solid execute to make sure they do it while they have money. While Spirit are at their strongest, they want to take him out clean. Nobody's trying to get into overtime here. And it was the eco test versus these two over in B in this previous round. Here's a level up. Sway delivered versus those Tech 9s.
But died last round empty-handed. Pressure comes out from middle. That secondary ops already found one. Donk hungry to go for the repeat, but it's up close. The test gets
Nossa! Eita, será que leva? Putz, ainda.
And with already close proximity to the doorway, Nico 78 health pushes over and looks to take that deep challenge, but they've already
tancaram.
So an 11th round comes with it.
Mais uma do CT. Mais uma do CT.
As simple as here for the two guys that had to deliver to keep this game up.
Round 24, no timeouts left. Oh, his bomb on the other side of the window.
Yeah. He just kind of has it. He's like, maybe I can get these kills, that's all.
Really had to swing. We go long and heavy for Spirit in the 24th of play. Ancient still no guarantee for Falcons. Do they think that they can get the better of a timing on Zwei again? The only time he's died with nothing was when he was in that forward corner.
They're going to come in quick. Shiro's in the same spot that helped him out last time. Can Zwei deliver again?
And there's no pressure on Shiro. Zwei's trying to find timing. He'll collect the kill on Nico first. And then as he tucks back in, it's an easy one to Kyosuke.
There he goes.
And the improvement for Zwei tonight, much needed.
Nossa! Esse cara joga muito, velho. Ele levou o time todo. Joga muito.
He did not just get 2 aces in a quarterfinal, in a major playoff, as an anchor on 2 different maps versus
se liga.
1,
2, 3. 4, 5. Ai, ai, ai. 5, levou 5. Ai, a Steam cai nessa hora. Puta merda, velho. 12-12, tá tudo empatado.
I think he put up 3 kills in that first half.
Tá tudo empatado.
Falcons made your life, which felt secured for at least Ancient, is right back on the table. And the momentum is real.
You know, Zwei came into this major and he figured out the things that everybody needed him to figure out. That's getting kills from within sights, not pushing through smokes, not swinging extra, not overheating.
Spirit with 7 of the last 8 rounds in regulation.
Cada um nas suas bases, preparando estratégia. Vamos ver o que o TR vai fazer dessa vez. Tem 2 na varanda, cuidando da porta, no meio do CT. É, eles estão indo varanda, hein? Vamos pra A. Só tem um na A. Nossa!
He's yet to get it, so Donk will help him finish it off. Shiro has to be worried that that lower peak's about to come through. And as Falcons get footing onto this bomb site.
So risky.
Yeah, he's pushed against the
Nossa, mano. 3-3, tudo empatado. 3 pro CT, 3 pro TR. Tá cada um de um lado. Tá cada um de um lado. Boa! Só desarmar. Só desarmar. Só desarmar.
What's happening? Him here on retakes. That's a whole nother threat.
13-12. Spirit 13, Falcons 12.
They're somehow in the lead.
Kixan digs deep in that round. That peek down along the wall to make sure Shiro gets busted up. Felt like it had to be an instant headshot, or else Tanir in the background's got the support.
They played with him perfectly. He had no easy shots. They got right up to the back of the of default to plant the bomb, and there was no way. There's no way for Shiro to actually escape that. He had to hit a crazy headshot over the box, but if he could see what we saw, he would have peeled back a long time ago.
Extra credit, right? That flashbang for Zwei. Gets the trade train going up a catwalk.
Zwei doesn't get both those kills. This round's over. They can squeeze back the cap, play for time. It's way easier to win. Tesses knows. Tesses, in their last match, he came into it. He was on a 9-1v1 win streak. He was so clutch. That's another stat that Falcons had working in their favor playing against Team Spirit.
Ooh, fast pounce though. Timing's a little bit different, but the defense is in, locked in.
Some things are different.
Guess what? Zwei's still here and still thriving. And now it's not just a strong start because of a retake. This is an instant shutdown of the Falcons' attempt in the second of OT. Already into the 3 versus 5. Launders, this game is getting away from the Falcons.
I thought Jacob was the only guy who needed some time. Look at Zwei go here inside the B site.
Who wants to be the hero, Falcons? Kyosuke and Nico dead. Monesi still out here with that off. But it was so early, and obviously Team Spirit have so much momentum and still so much utility. They blocked that off with a very quick answer to just make sure nobody.
Só tem 3 TR vivo.
And so they can lean back comfortably into this 5 versus 3 advantage.
Os 5 CTs estão vivos, 3 TR vivo.
The rest of this round might as well just be a formality if the CTs don't totally.
Ainda respirando.
Donk still again, right? You said that electricity kind of in him. Never static so far throughout this CT.
Tempo tá a favor, tempo tá a favor do CT. Tem que avançar.
Leaning back as the fire burns, no avenue of attack for the Falcons. Kixan's desperate hope at somehow winning this 1 versus 4. But like you said, Tanir was already hot on his heels from that mid flank. And so if he just tries to go for the op save, there are real ramifications of this. 2 in a row in overtime, 7 of the 8 to close out regulation. congratulations. We have not seen a lifeline for the Falcons in quite some time.
It's crazy because mentally it's hard to really rationalize the fact that right now Team Spirit are coming back in their head-to-head. They're winning. They might actually just eliminate Falcons now from the major. This map was almost done after that second pistol. This should have been a wash.
And a missed opportunity for Monacy as well.
And now the feet are to the fire of the Falcons right now. This game is getting away from them. Their lifeline in this major, and one of their biggest follies, man, is getting into playoffs, but where it's single elimination. They would never lose games in groups, in seeding matches and everything like that. Falcons were crushing everybody.
Sure. Great record in third, fourth deciders.
Yeah, but when there is no fallback, the few games they have lost, it's been there.
I mean, when the pressure's at its highest.
When the pressure's at its max.
A Steam tá caindo hoje, hein, meu? Transmissão deles aí não tá legal, não.
Waters of Long, and that's just going to queue up Shiro's off. Kyosuke popped. Oh, no. Fast one onto Monacy. The kid never even had a chance. And it was a quiet map for Shiro at times, never really called on. But now, 21 frags to his name, a 2K here to try to solidify this flawless overtime.
Nossa.
Has had his moments to try to save them, but it is yet again too much to ask.
And Nico, a focal point of these conversations. Look at him, 22 and 19, did his part back on the CT side. It's not the same story in a loss to the Falcons where Nico is the guy that we look to saying, where are you? He's here, he is trying, and he's trying to do as much as he possibly can. This one just, it has a little bit of a different story to it. Unfortunately, the outcome's gonna ring another major. The reason why we come down so hard on Falcons sometimes, the Ents core, the heroic core, the G2 core. These are three teams that had to basically get dismantled to bring this team together. The bar is that they win. Anything below that is heavily scrutiny. That's it. Massive amounts of scrutiny to this lineup for that reason. It's a team with players we all cheer for, that have massive stories behind them, a million reasons to want to see them succeed. Nico being one of them, Monacy right beside him. And we do see them play their hearts out. But the fact is, in moments like these, it always feels like they beat the odds in the wrong direction. The tragedy strikes, almost comically so sometimes, where you think this can't be the time it happens again. We saw the stats earlier on the desk. If they could pick one quarterfinalist to go up against, maybe it would have been Spirit.
Deep breaths and we go and we fight.
Water, deep breaths, and fight. A dreading feeling that has become all too common for Nico in his career. And it felt like with the way that they battled back versus G2, that things could have been different, that things could have been them stepping forward, because we saw them in the grand finals in Hong Kong. We've seen them beat the world's best recently. All while Team Spirit have never
Cada nas suas bases.
of this Falcons. And so tonight was supposed to be more of that, more of the same.
He's in front of the smoke. Connor.
Vamos ver, tá cada nas suas bases.
This B-split is coming. The bomb's already out, man.
God,
they're starting to ramp into it.
God.
This is getting real for Falcons.
Sitting on top of the bricks, Kicksand cuts down Doc, and the rest of the Falcons are going to be called on, but Shiro's already cut off the mid play back to the top mid peak. After the progress in 2025, after feeling like they had brought more and more fights, with Hunter in his heart, Nico sits to the sidelines and has to hope that his proteges are enough for this retake. You've got Zway down to a quarter HP. You've got Chopper and Tanir to lean back on. Falcons' major life on the line.
The time's getting too low. They've got to go.
Jumping through the windows. Zway leaning back.
Nossa.
Tanir. Zway dead with nothing.
Nossa. A bomba vai explodir. Vai todo mundo pro saco. Boa! Spirit. Levou.
The one one red thread, the one through line that Falcons were most
caras jogaram
into this
muito.
quarterfinal. Their nightmare has come true. Spirit have taken this game, keep their hopes alive in this major, and walk by their biggest competition of the season.
And doing it fueled off of a world class. There's no sugarcoating.
Os caras jogam muito, muito.
First map from Sway. If you had anticipated a Spirit win tonight, you would have never called for that nuke domination. And if there was domination to be had, it is always at the hands of Donk. But tonight, Sway showed that he can feel the shoes of Magisk. Stepping up in Shanghai in that grand finals was one of the reasons that Spirit won. And if Sway is a part of their winning formula here in Budapest, the sky is the limit for Spirit.
Caramba, galera, o time Spirit levou essa daí, vamos curtir os replay. Eu vou sair da tela aqui e vou deixar vocês curtindo os melhores lances dos replay aí. Vamos comentar, vamos comentar. A bomba explodiu! O melhor jeito de terminar o jogo. Boom! A vitória lascada, meu. Tem melhor jeito de terminar o jogo com uma explosão fantástica? Vamos ouvir o que ele fala aqui. Pulls off 2 aces, comes back from a slower start on Dust 2, dominates and helps your team take it over the line. Feels like a pretty good day, right? Yes. Just talk to me. How did you feel being able to have so much impact this time, especially in this arena with all this going on around you, something that you're not used to, it's something new to you?
I don't know, I just got some impact words from Halle and Chopper before the game, so I just stopped feeling pressure like I felt last half of year, I guess, and I think I showed how I can play, really.
About those words with Halle, I have to speak about Dust 2 start. It was very slow, but he took some timeouts and he looked really angry in those timeouts because you lost some eco rounds, right? Can you remember what was being told? Because you bounced back perfectly on the Dust 2 later on.
I think it was a slow start for us because, as you said, we lost eco round so stupidly. But after we just started doing rounds which we are in our play plan, so we just we did pretty good half. 7-5 isn't the bad, so we just start playing good on sit side.
Also about your performance, obviously you had a lot of kills, but it's not like you're making plays to get those kills. You're just sitting on your side, you're holding, and kills are coming to you. Does this feel like good motivation to become this anchor that you want to be on some maps that you play with Spirit?
I can say just that M4A4 is absolutely imbalanced gun. I guess you need to first nerf it, Valve.
Alright, Valve, please fix.
Now, Zoe, I also want to ask, there was a moment when you pulled off your first ace. Chopper is hyping you up, the team is cheering you on. How much is that giving you such a confidence boost, and how good do they make you feel to have these plays and play what I would say is like the Namiga version of you, but on Spirit finally?
Yes, I mean, when some guys from my team is like supporting me, cheering for me inside the game, it's like it gives so much impact for me. I started feeling a lot of more confidence after it, so yeah, it's helping me a lot.
Well, hopefully it continues for you throughout this major playoffs. Now, there's a lot of fans of Spirit here. There was not just boos this time around. The cheers are happening at the same time. There's Spirit fans back home. What do you want to say to them, man?
Thank you guys, everyone, for supporting us. I hope we're gonna make it to grand final and win it. So keep cheering for us.
There we go. Thank you very much, Sway. Budapest, please put your hands together. Our first team through to the semi-finals. It's Spirit and Sway!
Demais, galera. Os caras jogaram muito. Olha esse replay, velho. Olha esse replay. 4, 5. Essas são as melhores jogadas. Putz. É incrível ver jogadores nesse nível, né, meu? Parece que os caras já sabem onde eles estão.
But it worked out fantastically. This is why, even in the middle of the season, through the struggles that Spirit were having, I still kept faith for Holly, still kept faith for Chopper, and my goodness, like, what possessed Zwei today to pull that off? I've never seen anything like it, from being really just dragging this team down into the mud with him, to suddenly lifting the team up to a height that Donk has simply never experienced. He's never beaten Monacy and Nico when they're in the server again.
Galera, que da hora, né, meu?
Was the difference.
I mean, wow. I was actually picking Spirit for my prediction, but I never could have imagined them beating them on Nuke like that, and then finishing it off with this kind of comeback into Dust 2. I mean, it seemed unreal. I felt like in the green room, the Falcons have this is done and dusted, we're going into a third map, and then we start seeing Sway just pick up round after round on that CT side, pulling them back into overtime.
It was incredible. I feel like in terms of those map picks, it was kind of lulling Falcons into this false sense of security, and then finally when Zway's coming alive, it's simply over for them. Obviously, we've been praising Zwei a lot for good reason, but Donk did have some moments in this one. Of course, he always does Devil Walk. Round 8, this was Donk really coming alive into this map number 2.
Yeah, I feel like they needed this round. Like, as we play it out, it's just like one of these force buys. You're in an awkward position money-wise, and they just walk up short, and it always looks like this Falcon side is going to be able to pull this round back, but he just hit some ridiculous shots to actually make it happen for them. And that was the start for the comeback for them. That was the start. They needed to pick up a few of those T rounds to actually be able to make some mistakes on the CT side, make sure they had the buffer of rounds to make it to overtime, because they were at a disadvantaged position throughout.
And it went both ways. I mean, Falcons were able to win some of their own eco rounds, but yeah, now finally we get to see it. I mean, this is just one where, I mean, look at the weapons on the side of Spirit. I mean, Falcons were able to win, I think, the second round and even the 11th round with just scrappy buys, but for Spirit to fight back in this sense was a huge boon to them in terms of their confidence, because this half was really slipping away from them. If they had just lost this one, if they had never shown any kind of fight, then you could have just probably, I mean, we'd be on map 3 right now, because obviously it went to overtime, so clearly it all comes to life when Donk is able to hit that shot in particular. Pixel perfect onto Kicksand there.
Yeah, and it kind of started from that Monacy tried to hit that through the smoke in the mid to B smoke. And they just strafed and took the timing, and that's what kind of overwhelmed them in that site, because they had the perfect setup.
I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, the Monacy, I mean, he loves a shot when he's blind, when he's smoked off, and he loves to just try to see if he can just rail one off and get a lucky frag. But then that was almost just like a starter mark at a race, just everybody ready, go, and then it's just like they're swinging him, and they know he has to reload that op. So I mean, all in all, Monacy, there are moments like that where it still feels like sometimes he's just learning, or just like creating losing conditions that otherwise it's hard to knock him, because he does hit those shots at an alarming rate.
Yeah.
Right there clearly gave Spirit an in.
No, when it's in this higher stakes of a match, I think it's okay to be picking up on those tiny weeny mistakes that ultimately do cost you the series. I think the kind of pressure really came down to the later rounds in the second half, though, because we're getting into round 20, and you tell me there's a head-to-head between Nico and Chopper. Who are you going to say is winning that Devil Walk?
I mean, I'm going to be honest. In this clutch with Chopper, I was worried for every single second in this clutch, because, Nico hits like a crazy. Well, first of all, let's paint the picture of the round. They are in a disadvantaged position. A lot of low health people. Chopper, awkward spray, jumps into the smoke and kind of finds his space to make it awkward for these Falcons members. Donk with an open retake. Tesses, ooh. Missed timing on that peak.
He tags him as he's jumping there. Yeah. It felt like at that point, Nico was just destined to win this one. He even hits the jiggle peak, spots the side of him, could have gone for the wall bang, but instead just goes for the full swing. Chopper takes him out right there. I mean, that was a mind-blowing round, because Chopper had 2 kills before that round started.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not going to ever doubt the blood of a champion.
No, 100%.
Ideal impact.
Let's talk about the moment, though. The second ace for Zwei in this series. This is insane. To push it to OT as well, like, talk about withstanding the pressure.
I mean, this is ridiculous. This is actually ridiculous. He actually dodges the flashbangs, gets the perfect peak, and then, you know, it feels like he's just picking them off. It's a ridiculous ace. Probably one of the best aces so far in this tournament. Yeah, I mean, what a way to pull your team into overtime and win this series.
I mean, and he's on an island too. There were support flashes to help him out on that defense, but I'm almost surprised that Falcons go for that without a backside molly at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty early in the round. You do have the utility, and yes, you can use it for a post plan and just secure the round 100%, but I feel like it's just so standard protocol to toss one back there so that guy is under so much duress, or at least has to drop his smoke at his feet. All in all, I mean, the effort that Zwei put in today was just so unforeseen. I feel like he was the least likely suspect to resuscitate his own individual performance to bring Spirit over the line. But, I mean, Spirit find win conditions in unlikely ways, as we've seen with them before. I mean, like, Map 1 felt like shades of Magic's in Shanghai. I mean, Map 2, I don't even know. He's, like, doubling up on it.
Yeah, well, an incredible comeback from Spirit nonetheless. Unfortunately, that does mean the crumble for Falcons. So let's get a few closing words courtesy of them.
With every triumph, there is also heartbreak as well, and that comes in the form of Falcons at this stage. Kixan, I just want to give you the opportunity to try and explain what went wrong in this series against Spirit, the thoughts and emotions you're feeling right now in this incredibly tough moment.
Obviously, I'm disappointed because we had higher expectations than this. If we talk about the Spirit game, I think on the first map, from what I remember, they just played really good. They were individually sharp, and we just lost a lot of duels, a lot of entry kills, and it was hard to play. I think on the second map we had our chances and we could have won it easily, but it came down to some small details that in the end costed us.
Now, I know the major for you guys and every player for Falcons as well, it's the goal right now. Is that pressure something you feel that factored in today at all?
I mean, there is always pressure when you play for a team like Falcons. There will always be pressure because of the expectations we have for our team. I don't think today it was any different, but maybe I would even say that the pressure was a bit less today compared to the G2 game, because the first step was to qualify for the playoffs, and we did it against G2 in the last game. So obviously today there was also pressure, but I would say less than the G2 game.
Looking at your year as a whole and this being the way 2025 ends, how would you like to reflect on all of it?
2025, the whole year? I mean, we won one trophy and we made a lot of finals, which maybe it sounds not that bad, but I think we had higher expectations. And if you look at the finals that we played, we could have won at least a few of them, let's say. So I would say that it was not the best year for us. I think we had higher expectations than this, and hopefully we can achieve it next year.
Now, there are a lot of Falcons fans around. You've got family and friends at home. Any last words for them?
Can you repeat again?
Family, friends, the crowd as well. Any last words for them?
I want to thank everyone who came to the arena to support us. We appreciate your support, and I'm sorry for this loss. We didn't perform as we usually do, and hope you keep supporting us, and see you next year.
There's a lot that I want to poke and prod at from that Falcons departing interview, because, yeah, in one sense, you know, I agree with Kixan, a lot of pressure on that G2 game, but we said it after they did finally basically limp over the line in that qualification series, right? Anything really less than a semi-finals, huge disappointment for Falcons here in the major, and the fashion that they kind of crumble under, ultimately. I think that's going to, unfortunately, go down in the history books for Falcons and Nico yet again as a negative.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. Obviously, legend in his own right in this game, but struggling in the majors, and it's obviously heartbreaking to see it kind of happen over and over for them, never really getting it right. Yeah.
With the way that Falcons played here, I mean, every narrative was working in their favor for them to get this over the line. The win streak that m0NESY and Nico had over Donk and Spirit, the fact that it was 9 times in a row, that's why, I mean, they were the favorites in terms of HLTV ranking,
yes.
Bookmaker favorite as well. The veto went exactly as they could have wanted it to go. There were so many aspects that were working in their favor, and yet, yes, they were defeated at the hands of Zwei, who had really the best game I've ever seen him have bar none, period. But at the same time, they're going to look back at Nuke and wonder where was Nico in that one. They're going to look back at Dust2 and think maybe we didn't need to keep pressuring a Zwei who I wouldn't say it was the hot hand, but it felt like a fairly one-note game plan.
Yeah.
They did just keep testing him repeatedly, and he kept finding success. So I think that Zonic and Kicksand in the night before clearly had an idea of how they wanted to run this one, and it unfortunately just didn't work because this is just the best way we've ever seen.
That was a strange thing, right? Like, sure, okay, maybe coming off of map number 1, you go, that's happening in isolation for Zwei. That's just a miracle that he can pull that off. Maybe you go towards B a couple of times on that T side, it does work, but to continuously keep on doing that when Zwei has seemingly come alive on this Dust2 rather, it felt very flat from a Falcons game plan.
Sometimes you go in, you have a game plan, things should work out if every piece kind of moves the way you want them. And I feel like Falcons got in the situation where they tunnel vision, they had the game plan, they just continuously said, but it should work, and it didn't. And not having the adaptation, making the timeouts, make sure that you kind of talk the game plan that you want. It's a bit disappointing, but I understand them. I've been in the same situation myself before. We just keep hammering the same thing because you really believe that this is the solution and this is the thing that's going to give you the victory.
I was going to ask, like, when you're 11-5, right, you think you have such runway to work with, think just 2 more rounds is all we need. Can we kind of, I guess we can't forgive them because of ultimately what the result is, but is it more understandable from your perspective as a player who was once in the server to kind of get kind of tricks by your own game plan? You're playing yourself ultimately.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely felt like Falcons didn't pressure them enough. They kind of just waited until the end rounds and went for it as a group. If they were in a position where we kind of reset it 0-0, they would pressure more. We would see Monacy, we would see Nico more active, kind of flash picks and stuff like that. So it is easy to get into that comfort zone because you only really need one to close the game out, and they never really happened. Great defense from Spirit, and props to them as well. But if they look back to this, they would definitely handle it differently.
Okay, maybe multi-million-dollar question, I guess. What do Falcons do now? This is clearly a disappointment. What is the next step?
I feel like they're just going to point the finger at the lowest fragging player once again, unfortunately. I feel like this is kind of a bad day for Tessus in particular, just because, well, one, he fragged well beneath his normal standards, but I feel like in what has been the modus operandi of Falcons in the past, they just want to kick the next support player for a better support player. So they're probably going to start fielding offers, or really sending offers to other great support players. They're going to look at Bit, they're going to look at poaching Yimpat, they're going to look at just seeing where they can splash their cash next, because even though today, yes, Tessus did perform poorly, but I think I would chalk it more up to sometimes the game plan there. Map 1 especially did not go well for them across all of the looks that they were trying to give. So, but unfortunately, that's just what I think is practical from their side of things.
Okay,
so,
yeah, I was going to ask, you think that is the, correct decision, or you think that is just what is going to happen, right? Obviously, the two don't have to coexist.
I mean, they have yet to win, what, a prestige, or... It's tough to say, okay? It's tough to say because honestly, like, there's continuing threads between the failures of Falcons and what has actually been always there. And I'm looking at Zonic. I'm looking at Zonic in particular. I know that a lot of people think that's a dirty word to say, that you can't say it because of everything he showed us in CSGO, but in CS2, it's been practically a travesty for this guy. I mean, he hasn't really, in terms of what the Snappy-led lineup had, there was nothing to show. They didn't even qualify for the major. Earlier on, they lost to MIBR. Like, if I'm looking for one guy that's going to give my team a boost, like, Falcons have decent enough tactics. I don't think they're really short on those, but I feel like if he's unable to actually break this team out of whatever mental chokehold they have upon themselves, then I need to look elsewhere for an emotional leader that's going to help me out next time the going gets tough and it's a close matchup.
Yeah, I mean, I can only agree that they were kind of sloppy in their game plan. They were, because, I mean, you look at some matches, when they played Nuke in previous series, it almost looked exactly the same. It almost looked like they hadn't even thought of a game or a fallback plan, and that is something that is just not good enough if you want to win the major.
I do just want to end on a slightly more positive note, because obviously farewell to Falcons. It's gut-wrenching the fashion it happened in, but you sold me on a narrative, Maui. The fact that the further the donk progresses, the more discussion there is for the #1 player in the world. That's very exciting when we look towards the semifinals, right?
There is just endless amounts of cope regarding people just saying that it's a done deal and that Zayu is the player of the year. Look at what Donk just did in this quarterfinal right here. And not always throughout the year did Donk have the team around him to necessarily win all the trophies. But if you look at the pure numbers as in terms of individual output, and if you look with your goddamn eyes at what Donk is doing in the server, I am hard-pressed to say that anybody this year or last year was better than this guy. Like, it is just, he is upending everything we think about what entry fragging should be possible, how many consistent frags he's able to get to just give Chopper and Holly the luxury of having the man advantage. Like, Donk to me is the best player of this year. He's the best player of last year, and I feel like the only thing holding him back from getting just really unanimous support in that is that he doesn't have all the trophies this year necessarily. So I feel like if I'm looking at this and I'm HLTV and I'm thinking, okay, how do we possibly get him there? I feel like that he needs and Spirit need to make a run at this major.
Yes.
If they win and he's the major MVP, his numbers eclipse Zayu, and it is not close. Well, so he needs the cabinet too.
Well, 100%. They take a step further forward towards those semifinals that will be going down on Saturday, but we need to find them an opponent. And this time is going to be a rematch of the Austin Grand Final, Vitality versus the Mongols, going down after this break.
Galera, voltamos daqui a pouco, tá bom? Daqui a pouco voltamos aí, daqui 13 minutos, a próxima partida. E vamos acompanhar aí o que vai acontecer daqui 13 minutos, tá bom? Vamos aguardar aí.
everyone, and welcome back. It is time for another episode of the All About Star Ladder Major podcast. It's a very special one because we've got a few more days ahead of us before we get inside the MVM Dome for the playoffs with a stacked bracket of the best teams in the world. We got a lot to review, we got a lot to preview, and we got some awesome guests coming on the show today. But the first one and the best one is always the only major winning coach and player still to this day, Devilwalk. And how many years has it been?
Well, I took the record pretty early on, right? So it's been been about 10 years I've held that record.
It's a good record to have. How you doing, man? It's been a stacked week of Counter-Strike action, intense this time. Obviously, the big dogs came on in.
Yeah, I mean, I think now it's when we finally got to see, you know, the best teams in the world kind of duke it out and see where some of these teams actually are. Because there was question marks for a lot of these teams, what kind of form they're going to go in with. And I think we've gotten a lot of those questions answered before the playoffs. So it was really exciting.
So when it comes to looking at stage 3, we're going to start with our eliminated teams, right?
Yep.
And we've got to start with another major disappointment, another major heartbreak in Liquid. It's a team I can't put my finger on as to why it's this bad when you see the players they have. And I was talking to Shuhei off camera, out of interview. I was talking to Flashy a bit as well. And I think I've got more of an understanding of what is pretty bad for these guys right now. But like losing to Spirit, nothing wrong with that. Losing to Mongols, Flashy himself said we didn't play the way we wanted to play. And then against Passion,
it was a collapse.
This was like, the scoreline doesn't do it justice because it wasn't close. Like they got dominated out the gates very early on with no chance of coming back. Right now, they're in this like cluster of this not understanding. And I will say this, Liquid have spent so much money on Counter-Strike. This used to be an elite organization that would qualify for the big events, would have chances of lifting trophies. This downfall has to stop. Either Liquid runs and goes away from CS, or they have to spend crazy amounts more money to try and do a rebuild. Like this isn't it. With that, we need to move on to the next team in the mix of this going 0-3. It was Paravision. Now, we got a lot of love for Paravision and Dastan. He gave us some
8 minutos, galera.
quotes in here, but I will say that like this was where they bit off more than they can chew. Now, Mouse, that first game, I'll just say this. Both Mouse and Na'Vi gave Paravision maps that they are super comfortable on.
I mean, I understand it from a perspective, like generally, you need to be a really good team to be able to play Overpass great. But Paravision does not play like any other team. They don't play like a normal youngster team who just runs around and shoots people.
They love B.
I mean, what can you say? I think they should be proud. This is 4 rookies going into a major. They, you know, made it through stage 1, made it through stage 2, and came here to stage 3. It's a complete success for them. It's something that they can build on. You know, Dastan mentioned it. It's a great memory, great first memory to kind of bring into your career as a CS player for these young guys. So, I mean, for me, it's hats off.
Next team, Pain. And there is a lot of pain here. I remember the beginning of this year, before they even did well at Austin, we were very positive about this team, more hyped up about this team. We were thinking they can have some success and they can do a little bit better than what was expected of them. This was the Brazilian team that was on the rise before Furia. And then against Bait, they had the chances, but they didn't have the strength and the teamwork or the chemistry to finish it over the line against Bait. And this right now, for a team that's been together as long as they have, this isn't good enough. Imperial...
They did good.
Well, this is, Joe, we're going through these quite... It's like, Liquid did bad, this did good. Now, they still got 1 win, but the levels, for the viewers at home to understand, is very different. Because we expected so little of Imperial.
Yes.
They were my 0-3 in every stage. And guess what? They still made it to stage 3 and didn't go 0-3 here.
Do you remember when you coached me in CSGO?
When was
it was
that?
just, I think it was some American tournament.
P13, right?
Huh?
You're playing on P13 or no?
Yeah, exactly. And you joined in
right?
for one game to just coach us in an official match.
Was it Dust 2?
Yes.
I think so.
I
You
played
played
B.
with Peter, right?
Yeah.
Peter and what was the name of the other guy? The American guy? Canadian guy?
Anger.
Anger. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
What is it? What is this? What happened?
It's true.
It's true.
It's true. I think it was in Los Angeles, close to Los Angeles, California.
I think it was when you joined Luminosity, must have been.
A little bit before I joined, I guess.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Did I give some good insight? I don't remember.
I remember one thing you said to me. I was a little bit nervous on B side and buying too much time. And you said, Devilwalk, you know this. At some point, you have to take the duel. You know, not give them too much space.
Okay.
Now that I remember on B doors.
Did it work?
It worked.
You won the duel?
Yes.
There we go.
Imagine he goes to plant, takes the duel.
And he's like, no, this didn't work.
That's good. That's good. Yeah.
I remember that.
I'm never taking the duel now, though.
Times have changed.
Sometimes you have to. Yeah, sometimes you have to.
I saw Senzu, like one of your best players, and he goes, and I'm like, oh no, this is terrible. You know, I messaged you on Instagram about it. You said you understood his reason. It's just what had to happen. But did you guys not panic as a team? Did you not get like, oh no, this is bad? Like, was it scary?
Last moment decision, I think. Like before the major, like. Then I did, I don't know what it's like. Then I did, like the roster, the
roster lock. Yeah.
We're just talking and like, I think Senzo tell us that he don't want to like play at the moment in like before the roster lock. Before, I think it was 3 to 4 days.
Wow. Wow.
Or no, I mean 7 days.
7.
From Malta, we came to Mongolia, and we just talking about that one standing player. We even ask about Magix and JL.
Oh, really?
And JL didn't respond, but no. I mean, we tried to contact JL, but we didn't contact to him. But we tried to contact him, and Magix said that he says that we need to talk to their organization, but after that day he just said like, okay, I'm fine with playing with you guys the rest of the year. But before that day we like locked in for controllers. Like 9-10 says that maybe controllers is good for us, and we just recognize him, and he was playing Austin Major, doing good, 20 years old, having experience and know how to shoot, so yeah.
This is crazy, Mazinho.
Yeah.
You just said JL and Magix.
Yeah.
And you would have had to speak English.
Yes.
And you guys were ready to do that.
Because like it's like, I don't know how to say it. It's like last moment decision.
Yeah. So you just okay.
Oh, I don't know that.
Like
okay, go be Magix.
Go be Magix.
Yeah, go kill him. Something like that. Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. Okay, so what I want to do is go through the playoff bracket together of how we think it will go.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm loading up on my little screen what we think could be potential. So, for me personally, when I'm looking at Falcons versus Spirit, even if Falcons struggled more than Spirit, I feel like it was a good thing for Falcons to go through this. m0NESY had time. m0NESY, by the way, I spoke to him after that G2 game, and he said he was playing too much for the team in the opening games. In that G2 game, he took over more. He changed things. He was going for these crazy shots. He was picking up the AWP more. And guess what? Funny enough, that guy's pretty damn good with an AWP.
He is.
It's, you know, one of the best AWPers in the world. And then he changed the game. If he comes in with that for playoffs, and obviously Falcons are the kryptonite of Spirit, I got to side with Falcons for this opening quarterfinal. But so many people are like, look at Donk's rating, look at how well Spirit's playing. But they've been 3-0 before, and they've been in that dumpster moment before. And this is Falcons. This is not an easy first matchup for them.
Even so, I think it's going to be way closer than you think.
Vitality Mongols. Last 2 times Mongols faced off against Vitality, it has been the Mongols that got the win. But the head-to-head before that was massively in favor. This is with controllers. You know,
it's a tricky one.
No. You know what? This system the Mongols have beat my expectations. I didn't have them going through the playoffs because I'm an idiot. I
severely underrated.
I underrated and underestimated their game. I'm kind of believing, man.
I love the Mongols, but I have to side with Vitality. There's a reason they pretty much have always been top 4 or better at tournaments, and I'm not sure that's going to stop now. I don't think so.
I'm definitely ready. I got a couple of new suits to rock and wear. I'm looking forward to a 360-degree stage. I'm going to be running from one side to the other. I'm going to make the cameraman super mad because they're going to have to try and follow me. I'm going to be cheering to this side, that side. We'll be bringing the hype and saying, are you ready? Left, right, and center. It is going to be amazing. The Budapest Major has reached the playoff stage. We will see you live in the arena from Thursday. Make sure you're following. Make sure you're subscribing and liking. More great content coming your way. More players joining us for these episodes. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.
A rerun of the Austin Major Grand Final now set to go down in the quarters here in Budapest. It's Vitality versus the Mongols, where we've subbed out Maui Snake and brought up Pimp for his first quarterfinal in this arena. First of all, talk about a beautiful arena to be getting some Counter-Strike going in.
It's a beautiful arena. It's a beautiful stage. It's a beautiful surrounding. I even saw some Astralis fans in the building as well, so there's some tears around it. They still exist somehow, some way, but yeah, let's not talk too much about Astralis, because they're not really relevant in this matchup, are they? Devil Walk, 2 of the best teams in the world, duking it out in a quarterfinal. One team who's won an awful lot throughout the season, and then the Mongols, who I think a lot of people had question marks to coming into the tournament.
I have severely underrated the Mongols going into this tournament. I actually didn't even think that they would make it to this stage. So you got to give up to them, you know, huge props. Mara, the system that they created to just be able to kind of slot someone in and still make the magic happen. I have massive respect for Mongols, and I love watching their aggressive style.
I really appreciate that, right? Because Vitality expected to be making it here. The Mongols, particularly with that crazy roster move that happened kind of mid-season, didn't really expect it to be going in their favor to make it to top 8. So who did they take down? How did they do it in terms of actually earning a place here in the playoffs?
I mean, I think the win against G2 is the one that stands out to me, and the way they've been playing so far in this tournament is also, you know, kind of a quality statement to how good they've actually been throughout this season. We saw them at EWC win a tournament with Sensu back in the day, and we thought to ourselves, all right, maybe the Mongols, they could follow up of what they did in Austin, which was getting into a grand final of a major, which was also a bit surprising for that lineup. So I agree with you. I feel like they confirmed that regardless of them playing with Sensu or not, who on paper were the big star, they've still been able to do a good job. Winning against Team Liquid, not really a big feat, let's be honest. Winning against FaZe, I think the more we've seen of FaZe is a big feat. And then to me, you know, the win against G2 in a best of 3, the fashion they did it in, 13-4, 13-6, that was domination.
Yeah, absolute domination, and it's so good to see someone like Mazinho get back into it, because he's had a strugglesome year, especially when Sensu was back in the lineup. So he's taken a brunt of that kind of killing power back onto his shoulders and really, really delivered. And you got to give it up for Controllers as well. You know, they have the kind of trio that they need. They have Controllers, they have Mazinho and 9-10, so they can be a very, very dangerous squad.
On the flip side, top level for Vitality. As we said, this was a necessary result. Anything short of making playoffs would have been a disaster for them. So in terms of how much faith they gave you in that run through stage 3, how hot on Vitality are you right now, Jake?
I mean, they're kind of following the script of Austin as well, losing the opening best of 1 game and then making clean house from that moment and onwards. But I do feel the way they've been playing on the server hasn't really given me more confidence in Vitality. Results are speaking for themselves. It's all right, but that Na'Vi game was a very competitive one, 13-11, 13-11. There's a case to be made that it definitely could have gone to a third. I still think Vitality obviously were the better team, but they also came into this tournament, you know, not necessarily with the best results. So in terms of, do I think Vitality looks stronger in the group stage than they did in Hong Kong as an example? Not really, but there's been time to change that coming into the playoff.
Yeah, but they have this natural ability from Apex to be able to pull out the craziest rounds, to make these like high stakes calls in every single moment. You can never count them out, no matter how, you know, bad we see them right now. They're still an exceptional team. They're still a playoff contender, still a trophy contender the way they are right now. And that's just, you know, significant to how good they actually were in the first half of the year. They were absolutely destroying everyone.
And just to quantify, right, I know we're the major, and there's a lot of people out there probably watching Counter-Strike for one of the first times as well. When we speak about Vitality maybe struggling as of late, the worst result they have, that's top 4, that's semi-final after semi-final after semi-final, even into grand final. So yeah, they may not be winning it all right now, but they're still a hyper-competitive team. And as you said,